Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. And before we move forward, let's cue that intro. Yes, people. Welcome back to GNA TV. It feels like it's been a long time. It really does feel like it's been a long time since we've actually sat and done a stream. I feel like in a way we've slightly been having a break with the whole Euro things going on as well, but we will be slowly picking up again with transfer talk, not only for Chelsea, we're going to be covering a bit of Man United as well because they've got a lot going on. I'm sure Ads wants to get more involved in that later on. But at the moment, England are in the semi-finals. Yes, you heard it. England are in the semi-finals. They're one win away from potentially reaching the final. First final since 1966. I'm not one of these guys. Look, Alan's already said Alan's in the house. Big up to Alan as well. Says it's coming home. I'm one of these guys that's not going to sit here and get too crazy about it. Don't get me wrong, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk both about the Italy and Spain. We're going to talk about England, Denmark. We're going to do potential squad builders as well. We're going to talk about who we think's been the best player of the tournament so far. The lines will be open as well for you guys to come in and have your say, get involved and join in with us as well. And before we do that, please smash the like button. Please subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. And please click on that notification bell. So it reminds you of when we're live. And please share. Please share on all your socials. Just let everyone know that we are live. GNA TV is back and we're in town right now to provide you guys with some streaming shows. Ads is with us as well. How you doing, Ads?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Not bad. Let's go through some of these chats before we delve into things. Andreas Christensen, AK Andreas Cinderella Maldini. Fata, leave it out. Jorginho is another one. The 7 Chelsea boys in the semi-finals. One word to describe: dominance, and that's true. Chelsea, out of every Premier League club, has got more players in the semi-final than any other Premier League club. Pretty impressive, eh? Pretty impressive. Fata's singing away in the chat. He loves this country. Big up to Marlon as well. Like I said, big up to Alan. Big up to Fata. Big up to man like DHC and Baggy TV as well, who's in the house. Big up to him. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel as well. Ads, let's delve into it. I want to talk about Italy and Spain, mate. Italy and Spain. Obviously, no one really expected Spain to make it as far as they have. A lot of people were saying that potentially a quarters, maybe around 16. They're not too sure. I mean, you look into this game, Italy are in great form. They're in absolutely great form. Man like Jorginho, Locatelli, Immobile, Verratti, Barella. All these guys are playing very, very, very well at the moment. What's your thoughts on the game overall, and who do you think's going to take it, mate?
I think Italy have this wrapped up. However, that is just my opinion. I think when you look at the stats between the last 3 games, they're very well and evenly matched teams. I know a lot of people disagree, mainly because certain favourites like Jorginho, obviously in the Italy side, so of course they're going to back that team. However, I think they're both as good as each other. I think their main, well-structured department of the pitch is obviously their attacks and their midfields. Jorginho's been brilliant. Verratti's also been brilliant. And I feel like with Spain, they're going to need to pull something out of the bag to completely take over that midfield before obviously breaking down the attack. Their defense, but no, Spain, they look confident. I didn't think they were going to be too consistent, but they managed to come through to the semi-finals, which really pretty much surprised me. But yeah, man, it's a good team, and I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I don't think it will be as much as many others think that the game will be. I think Spain will pose maybe a slight test in many ways. I think they've got good players. They just haven't got players. I think the problem with Spain at the moment is you look at their defence and you know they're going to leak goals. You know that they're going to leak goals. I mean, you can look at their front line. They've got Alvaro Morata, who we all know is not a great striker, and he's not really banging in. I mean, he's banged in a great goal the last game against what's their name? Who did he play where he banged that volley? Croatia. And he caught it on his right foot. He took it back and he hit it with his left, and he went to the top corner. You know, you've got him, who unfortunately they're only out and out striker. They've got Moreno, and we know Moreno's had a very good season at Spain, but he isn't being played in this game at the moment. And it's I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one. I mean, Alan's saying Italy are due a bad performance. I feel like Italy are due. Yeah, I think Italy could potentially be due a bad performance. It just depends on them mentality, how they walk into that game. I feel like with Mancini, they won't allow that to happen. So the mentality levels will always be, quite high. I think their concentration levels will be there. But if you were going to force me into a corner and say, who do I think is going to win this game? My heart would say Italy and my head would say Spain.
Yeah, fair enough, man. No, that's fair. I feel like Italy have pretty much been the best overall in terms of the structure and attack, defense, and midfield overall. I think they beat every team in each department. Obviously, in the remaining, kind of quarters of the 4 teams, I think the only team that can come close with solid performances have to be England, and they haven't even really been that great, to be honest. But Italy, for me, because they are the favourites, obviously in the betting lines, that's not a surprise to me. They played brilliantly. The midfield, like I said, has stepped up brilliantly, solid. It's looked really, really good for them. And if they can continue that, then I don't see why they can't win it. However, like Alan said, they are due a bad game. So I think either they'll have a good game in the semis and go through to the finals, and whoever has to go through in the final for the other game is going to completely embarrass them, because they are due a bad game.
Yeah, and obviously DHC has said there himself. Spinazzola's missing. He's been playing very, very well for Italy at the moment. Italy have got quality. Emerson will probably come in. Whether or not he can hit the same levels as what Spinazzola's done, yet to be seen. But it's going to be interesting. Viewers, you let us know. What do you think the score is going to be? Who do you think is going to be the main player to step up? We are going to talk about that quickly as well. Obviously, we'll talk about main players. I want to start with Italy as well. There's been a lot of talks about Mr. Jorginho. Obviously, Verratti coming back in as well. Barella, who scored a beautiful goal against Belgium. Spinazzola. Who out of the players that you've seen, ads for Italy, has impressed you the most?
I'll say Verratti, to be honest. I'm going to absolutely say Verratti and Spinazzola. I think they have been the best. However, for Premier League representatives, it's going to have to be Jorginho, man. Like, Jorginho has been balling out. I'm not his biggest fan. I do think right now he's been consistent. He's been solid. However, I need to remind people that when these players, who are obviously your favourites, are doing so well, you can gas them up. However, when you're slating off other players from other teams that you don't like, who are also playing well, you can't say it's just a patch for them and it's always consistency for your favourite players. I think people like, Sterling, that, he was shit. I don't think he was great last season. However, he's, been England's best player. But at the same time, he's quality, he's proven quality, and he's a proven winner. He's won 2 Premier Leagues, and he's won many Carabao Cups and FA Cups. But Jorginho, on the other hand, has just won a Champions League. So the gas is obviously going to be surrounding him, but you need to understand this guy is not just consistent because he's consistent at club level. He needs to be consistent for both. And if he does that, then he could be one of the best midfielders in the world.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on Jorginho, and I think he's a very good player. I have my criticisms of him. He has been stepping up in his performances. Things where I think that he lacked in his anticipation. His levels of being able to sort of intercept, read the game pretty well have improved. I want him to be more progressive with the ball when he gets the ball in deep. I think sometimes it's important for a player that deep to look up, try and move the ball forward as quickly as possible. He is doing that slowly and shortly. I do think that he can still be got at, though, on a one-on-one basis. I know many people saying, his tackles are very good. He gets stuck in. He's not as vulnerable as he used to be before. But I just feel like I need to wait. The same with Christensen as well. In terms of consistency, I want to see that consistency from them. And I think it's going to be interesting. It really, really is going to be an interesting game. Switching on to Spain quickly as well. I mean, who for you stood out, if any, the most for you?
Not anyone really, to be honest. The goalkeeper's been awful. The back line has been shaky at times. Midfield, probably the best department on the pitch. And the attack, nothing really exciting from them, to be honest. However, we know the number 9 is playing up front for them. Everyone hates him. But I think we need to stop the bullshit and just admit that overall, he's pretty much been one of the most effective players for. That's the case. Just get off their back, and I think he's the one who's going to turn up in this game.
What, Alvaro Morata? Yeah, is that who you're going for? Alvaro Morata.
Yeah.
But you think he can be the difference?
I think he can, because look, obviously players read messages on social media, and obviously we've seen in the past many have responded to it and actually up their game. So hopefully he's done that. I know, in my opinion, I think he's a good player. I don't think he's world class. I don't think he's set anything special. But he's definitely overall and statistically, he is, one of the best around. However, at the moment, he's not looking like that, and his time will come, and it should come very, very soon. If it doesn't come in the semi-finals, then I don't know who young sung hero is going to be for Spain. I think it might be over for them if he doesn't turn up.
Yeah. I think Morata is a striker that many people look at and just think flop. But if you look at what he's been doing at Italy, if you look at how many goals he scored for Juventus, there would be a lot of people that would argue oppositely to that. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's missing absolute sitters against the likes of who was I watching the other day? He missed an absolute sitter. Croatia. He's missed a sitter, but he misses a sitter once a game. But the thing with Morata is he needs volume. He needs volume to his game. He needs to be able to be created chances to sort of be sort of cause a problem for them, and they're going to have to get him involved. They're going to have to support him. I think Ferran Torres is going to be important if he's playing. Sarabia, if he's playing as well, is going to be immensely important. Busquets in the midfield on his own up against Verratti and Jorginho is another thing that will be interesting to watch as well, the midfield battle. I think it's going to be more balanced than people would want to think. I think a lot of people would sway to Italy straight away and say Spain have got no chance, but just can't predict it. But let's go to score predictions. And what are you going for, Ads?
I think this game can go either way. So I'm going to say either Italy 1-0 or Spain to win on penalties.
There you go. I'm going to probably go with a 2-1 Italy. But if it isn't and Spain is to win, then I think it will be maybe a 2-1 Spain. Maybe a 2-1 Spain. So vice versa, Spain or Italy. I'm expecting a 2-1 either or. Let's go through some of the chats. Give Morata time to finish, and he's a lethal in the Premier League where it's mainly instinct. He flipped. Yeah, I get that. I hear that, Alan. That makes a lot of sense as well. Let's see what else we've got here. Flopped. I know you meant to say flopped as well. Don't worry. Morata's masterclass income is what Sosa says as well. Was quality in the first few games for Chelsea. He was. And then do you know what? I was at the game when he got injured. It was against Man City. Hazard had to play up front in that game, and we lost that game because I feel like we made the wrong decision in terms of the players that we switched. But before his injury at Chelsea, he was electric. He was scoring goals for fun. He was he was making good runs. He looked sharp on his feet. He looked like we signed a good player, and he picked up that injury, and then he came back as a completely different player. It just wasn't the same. And yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, because obviously he's up against some teammates as well in terms of the Juventus backline. So we'll see what happens as well. Big up to Rumps. 2-2 all the way to pens, Italy to win on pens is what Alan says as well. But people, please make sure you smash the like, share on your socials. Let's see if we can try and build up the views here, try and get some more people involved in what's going on as well. Smash the like and hit that notification button as well. Let's move on to this one. England versus Denmark. England versus Denmark. Now, a lot of people said when England beat Germany that if they could get past Germany, they'd have a nicer route to the final. And don't get me wrong, they have on paper, but it's England, and we know what England are like. We know what England can unfortunately put us through. It's going to be, even though we're at home, it's going to still be a tough game. Denmark are no pushovers. They will come and be hard to break down. They understand their systems. They understand their roles. And I think it's going to be an interesting game, Ads, isn't it? How do you feel about the game?
I think that we need to set up in a certain formation for us to win this game. I'm going to be honest. I think we need to change our formation completely, if I'm going to be real. We know, hopefully everyone knows who the weak spots are in our team and who the strong ones are. I'm saying this right now. I'm saying that left-hand side is world-class. I'm telling you, Sterling and Shaw is an underrated yet world-class partnership. How these two have not been put together for the past few years when they've been in the same selection is a joke. This is why people need to understand Gareth Southgate might not be the best manager, but he's definitely got a lot more common sense than the past managers, because Luke Shaw and Raheem Sterling have both been in the team since they were, around the age of 22, 23. They've never played on the left-hand side together. Never. And how they are doing it right now is absolutely extraordinary. I've never seen such a solidified partnership. Manchester United. And this is why, if I'm going to be honest, I say Sterling is underrated in the sense that he's not even mentioned in the conversations outside Mane or Rashford. He deserves to be in there because he's proven himself to be our hero of this tournament. I don't care what anyone says. Harry Kane hasn't stepped up, and he stepped up for us when no one else has. So when that's the case, you need to play this guy every single game. Maybe we might rest him. I don't know, but it's Southgate. He's not going to do that. We can't think like that. He's not going to rest him. And Sterling, for me, has to play alongside Luke Shaw for us to whip balls in from the left-hand side or, invert into the midfield. And if we play them two together, I don't see why we can't win.
Harris is asking if we're watching Copa American semi-finals. I know Ads potentially will be on that one. Not me, mate. Unfortunately, I've got work in the morning. I'd love to watch them, but I'm always too tired at that point.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm going to see Brazil go to the finals and absolutely destroy anyone else who's in the final. Because Fred and Neymar dominating left-hand side again. I love them two together, man. Ballers, bro.
You should definitely do more of them. Twitter podcast, by the way, enjoyed that last night. I was talking about the spaces. Yeah, we definitely will do. Trust me, we definitely will be doing that. Bit more of a quiet one on the side of tonight, though. But we will be back on Twitter doing some GNA TV spaces. But yeah, for me, it's going to be, look, Luke Shaw and Sterling have played very well. I think Sterling's surprised most. I'm probably one of the guys that gave him a lot of stick. I gave him a lot of stick as a player because I felt like he wasn't playing well enough. He wasn't in good enough form. And I just feel like with Sterling, he's stepped up. He scored some important goals. We've managed to get Harry Kane back and firing, which is important for us as well. It's going to be an interesting game because, like I said, Denmark ain't going to be no pushovers. We are going to do a squad builder soon, so please make sure you stay tuned in and smash that like. Let's get to 20 likes, people. We're going to go through the squad builder. We're going to pick who we think is going to start. Then we're going to put the link in the chat, Wayne, and then everyone can come in and mix up and have a say about it and how they feel about the game. But I want to touch base quickly on, Harris, you see that, yeah? I smashed that crossbar, bruv. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I didn't bother reporting it. Honestly, if I reported every little news that come out, then it just becomes pointless. And I don't want to keep coming on GNA TV doing Chelsea transfer news when it's a waste. I want it to be kind of legit, so I'm going to wait. Moving on from that as well. Yeah, ads watching Fred for sure. Trust me, Harris. That is true. I want to touch on Denmark because they've obviously started playing. Obviously what happened to Christian Eriksen seems to have gave him a bit of a godsend. It feels like God's watching over him in many ways, and they're playing very well. They're a hard team to play up against because they're very organised. They actually play in a Tuchel system with the three at the back. Strong midfield as well with Højbjerg in there. And then Dolberg and the other lads up front as well, which can cause problems, especially on the counters. I know England haven't conceded a goal yet as well, which is a big thing. But you look at Denmark ads, and do you feel like England have to be careful? Do you really think we have to be careful going into this game? And do you worry about Denmark actually hurting England?
I worry when we have people like Declan Rice in our team. That's when I worry. And when we have people like, okay, cool. I rate John Stones, but he's been awful. He's actually been awful. He's made Kyle Walker look like absolute shit at times. I'm going to say this right now. Yes, Sterling's pass was poor against Germany, but John Stones was meant to go forward, progress, and grab that ball and move forward. He backed away from the ball. He did the same thing last game when Calvin Phillips passed the ball to him. He backed away and then we nearly conceded. John Stones has been a big problem. He's been a big problem. Walker was bad.
Walker was bad, man. I think Stones is all right. I think Stones are concentration in times which worries me, and I don't understand why someone like Reece James still can't get in. I want to know if you viewers disagree with me. Do you not feel like Reece James could get into that right back in terms of the way Walker's played so far? It'd be interesting to know.
Can I say something quickly? To be honest with you, look, I think Walker is the best right back in the league, but he's not great for international most of the time. So if I'm going to be honest with you, I think Trippier has been better than him in this competition. I think he put in a solid game against Germany, and I also think Reece James also deserves a shout. However, if you want my honest back line in terms of quality, overall, I would say Luke Shaw, Stones, Maguire, and Walker. But right now, what I want to see is Shaw, Stones, Walker. Not Stones, Maguire, Shaw, and Trippier, because Trippier's had more game time. He's got international football right now. I like Reece James. Okay, don't get it wrong. I like Reece James, and I rate him very highly. I think he's one of the best right backs in the world and in the league. However, Trippier has that experience. He has, in my opinion, he's better. He's better on the ball going forward, and he's a definite threat when it comes to set pieces. So for me, Trippier has to be that number one right back. However, if Reece James plays, I ain't complaining. And obviously Lambs as well. I'm calling you out. I like you, my friend, but I'm calling you out because you said Sancho needs to play. Sterling has shut everyone up. He shut everyone up. He shut Lambs up. He shut every other, other people who don't like Sterling. But Sterling has proven everyone wrong, and he's proven why he's world class. Because world class do it when it matters. World class do it when it matters.
He's been important, is the word I would use. He's scored in important moments, which is when England have needed him. He's had an influence on the game as well. In terms of me, I feel like Kyle Walker is replaceable. I feel like we could probably strengthen in that area in terms of Reece James. I know people will go look back at experience, and I think with Kyle Walker, I think a lot of the times what gets him out of trouble is his pace. If he didn't have the pace, then I don't think he offers as much as the others, if that makes sense.
That's fair.
So, we're going to do a squad builder soon, but people just try and get to 20 likes, please. Just try and smash them likes up. Just subscribe, share on your socials as well. Let's try and build up a little group up in here as well. I want to get you involved as well. I want to know what your 11 would be against Denmark. You have to let us know. Harry said, Reece, I would play, but he hasn't played so much, so it's a risk. I hear that. Walker has been poor this tournament, apart from when we went free at the back against Germany. Reece James should be not right back. Okay, Alan, I hear that to a degree. This guy, United fan, who adds, yeah, he's a United fan, yes. Ads is a United fan. I'd rather start Trippier than Walker. What CEO on London says. Ads is a realist. He will tell the truth and not listen to the crowd. Fair
That's
enough.
right.
Walker wasn't even going forward to help Sancho. And look, we're going to debate about this front three. And the way we're going to do it is with a squad builder, because I feel like it's probably better. We can get more into it. I want the viewers to get involved as well. I want to know what your thoughts are on how we line up and what we pick as well. So, as you can clearly see, if you can see, I don't know if you can see well enough. Tell me if you can't. I can zoom in a little bit. That helps. I've automatically started with a 4-3-3. I did try and do a 4-2-3-1, but on this squad builder, it doesn't work properly. I want to talk about how we think Southgate is going to line up, and then we're going to, after we've done how we think Southgate's lined up, I want us to do what we think we should line up on. Yeah, Ads?
Yeah, man, that's cool.
I think Pickford's definitely in goal. I think he's been good enough. He deserves his opportunity in the goal. Left back, it's got to be Shaw, isn't it, really? There's no one else that deserves to play at the moment. I mean, to be fair, he's the one that's been played the most, even with Chilwell on the bench as well. So, I don't see why he should be taken when he's playing as well as he is. Harry Maguire, for me, I think is going to start. Do you agree?
Maguire, Harry's been brilliant, mate. He's been brilliant.
He has indeed. He definitely has. And he's actually, since he's come back, we've been better with him in the team.
Yeah. It was a big miss.
He has been a big miss. I think we look better with him in the team as well. And then we're going to go on to, I'm going to say John Stones. Who are you going for?
I'm going to say John Stones. However, I think Mings has been very underrated. When he's come off the bench, he's been a good impact. So, yeah, I'm going to say Stones, though.
This is what we think Southgate's going to do, by the way, yeah, not what we want at the moment. So, Walker, or do you think he'll give Reece James a chance?
Right. I don't know, because Trippier has played and Walker has played. Both played. I think he'll pick Walker, though. So how about we do what Southgate thinks, and then we'll make our own tads once it's done.
That's what we're doing, yeah. So I think he'll probably will pick Walker, even though I can actually see Trippier coming into this game, but we'll see. We will see. And then we're going to go into the middle. I think he's going to play Declan Rice again. I think God. Declan Rice and Phillips are pretty much undroppable at the moment to Southgate, I'm talking about.
He ain't got no one else.
Yeah. Henderson's on the bench. He doesn't seem to want to play him. And then who plays for you, here? Mason Mount. Would you go with someone else? Would you go with like a Grealish? Would you go with who would you go with in that position?
I'm going to be as real as possible, whether people like it or not.
Southgate,
Southgate first. All right, cool. Right. If I'm going to be honest, that role is going to go to Mason Mount. It's because it's Southgate, and I'm sorry, but Mason Mount's a good player, but he was shit. He's been shit. He's been awful.
I think he's been awful. I think that's pretty unfair. I don't think he's had bad games. I think he could do more going forward, but I think there's a lot, especially in the last game, there was an opportunity in the box where Ukraine, when we was 1-0 up, had literally the guy was free, and Mason Mount threw his body in front of the ball and took the ball away from the player, and I think that's partly the reason why he plays. I don't think you get that from a Grealish.
You don't. But same.
Why for Maguire looks so good internationally in the league? He's been good at the back end of the season, but international must suit him. Yeah, and not just that, he's playing with quality players. I think Maguire's very underrated, even at Man United. I think people forget how well he's performed. Getting Man United to second, partly to do with him as well, because of how defensively well he's played. I think he's definitely playing well. Southgate is using Grealish as a go-to guy off the bench, and I agree with Harris there on that one. We're going to go to the front three. Off the left wing, I'm assuming it's going to be no one else other than Raheem Sterling. I think he deserves the opportunity to be there.
Yeah.
Harry Kane is on fire again. Seems to be banging in the goals, doesn't he? So
Yeah.
Harry Kane's going to go. And who gets this last position for you? Because Saka's been playing okay. I think he wasn't as good against Germany. Sancho, for me, looked good against Ukraine. Gave us something different, very comfortable on the ball, taking on players, going in and out against them.
Mm.
Who do you think he's going to pick to play in that position?
If I'm going to be honest, G, I actually disagree about the versus Germany. I think he was one of our best players in that game. I'm going to be honest. His movement off and on the ball alongside Sterling was insane. It was such a joy to watch. He was getting in good positions. He was shifting past the wing backs, and he was dipping into the midfield to pick up the ball. And I think he's been by far, top 5 best players for us so far in this competition. So I'll say Saka. I'm gonna be honest. I'm biased. I'll say Saka.
I don't, Nims. I don't. I've got FIFA, but I don't play Ultimate Team, mate.
He's shit.
Maguire's price tag is why he gets a lot of hate. I think I agree. It is. It's always the price tag. Trust me. You guys seen Dembele and Griezmann's races video? I was shocked up. No, I haven't actually. I've not seen that yet. I'm going to go. I think he should play Sancho. I think he might even play Sancho. Who did you say? Sancho as well, yeah?
I said Saka.
Oh, you said Saka, did you? Okay.
I think he would play Saka, and if it was who I would play, I would also play Saka, to be honest.
See, I think he's going to go Sancho. I think he'll stick to the same team. The team that won and scored that many goals, he's going to think to himself, why change it? And Sancho's got more experience. Sancho's got more assists. Yeah. Sancho's got more goals. Sancho is a better player than Saka.
I agree.
Play our best players in games like this, semi-finals, finals. You put your best players on the pitch. You don't take risks. And I know
with the Rice one of our best players then.
Oh, well, this is the thing. I know Rice and Phillips would look at it as being a risk, but they've played most of the tournament, and we haven't conceded a goal. And as much as I don't think Declan Rice has been that good, I think Phillips has. I think Phillips has played.
I agree.
Very, very well in that position. So this is what we think Southgate's going to do, viewers, in terms of the way he's going to line up. Ad said Saka. I've said Sancho, so that's up for debate as well. You please let us know what would be your 11. Yeah, please let us know in the chat now what would be your 11. The link's going to be in the chat soon as well. You can come in, have your say, join us, have a little chat about it as well. Ads, what would you do differently if it was your choice? And it could be anything. So just tell me what you do.
So,
and I'll do mine after.
If it was me, I would keep the front line the same.
Okay.
I would have no problem if people wanted to play Saka though. However, when it comes to the midfield, if Jordan Henderson wasn't injured, I'd pick him over Rice because Rice is actually. Is he not?
No, he's on the bench.
I heard he's injured.
Oh, is he? I don't know.
Apparently, he has a apparently he had a calf injury in training.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
But if he's not, then I'm gonna obviously swap Henderson for Rice because how look, the guy came and had an instant impact. I know we finished off Ukraine 3-0, but he still managed to score a goal. And Declan Rice has just look. People say he's a better passer than most midfielders in the league, but I'm sorry. If you watch the game properly, the brother passes backwards 20 times and then makes one forward pass. It's not good enough. It's not. And it's look, he's an East London boy just like me, but he's not good. He's not that good. He really isn't. And I like Declan, but he's not a good player like that, man. So I'd swap him with Jordan, to be honest. I'd keep Mount in there and I keep Phillips in there. I think Mount is better than Foden. And that's being unbiased. The back line, I would swap Walker. I'd swap Carl for Kieran. Because Kieran is just... Kieran, look, I don't know if you man saw it, but when Sterling nearly lost us the pass against Germany when Muller nearly scored, Trippier was instantly telling him to get up, showing him support, and that's what you need on the field. And the goalkeeper, I'm sorry, but I said this right now on Twitter. I said it on Twitter. said it on Twitter a week ago. If Jordan Pickford could transplant his form near the end of the season for Everton last season, and his form for England, then guess what? He would be top 5 goalkeepers in the league. I think on his day he's better than Martinez. On his day, I think he's better than this. Right, this is gonna kill me to say this, but I think right now De Gea is not the best anymore in the league. He's not the best anymore. So that makes it very easy for people with as much tenacity, as much leadership and quality as Pickford to be better than this current De Gea. So for me, if Pickford could just transplant all this form into the league, he'd definitely be top 5 and he'd definitely be a top class goalkeeper.
I hear that. People, please smash them like buttons. Just try and get to 20 likes, please. I think we're about 3 or 4 away, so please help us get to there. Now, I'm just going through some of these quickly. Wayne saying he'd play Pickford, Stones, Maguire, Shaw, James, Henderson, Phillips, Saka, Sterling, Kane, Sancho. Harris, we have played that show slow pace, but the goals we scored have been put together nicely. And something that England's doing very well, and we've not spoken about it yet, is the pressing, the high press. They're all pressing very well. They know when to go. They're winning it high up the pitch in the right areas, so they're not getting caught behind. And it's a joy to watch. It really is. You know, we've got pace in the right areas as well to be able to do that. I would match up with Denmark's formation, go toe to go, to toe, like we did against Germany. And yeah, look, I think there's a good opportunity that we could see a back three. So if we were doing a back three, something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously. And what I would do, and this is what I would do with this team, because everyone's gone a bit everywhere now. I would, if we was doing a back three, I would, this is what I would do. I would play, it should actually be a 5, not a 3-2. It should be more of like a 5-4-1, maybe.
About a 5-2-2-1.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, that looks better. For me, if I was to pick my team and who plays in these roles, it would be 100%. This is how I'd go with Luke Shaw. I would go with wait a sec. Who played next to Luke Shaw against Germany?
I believe it was Maguire. Maguire played next to Luke Shaw.
Did Trippier play?
Trippier played. Yeah, he was in the right. He was in the right.
Was he played right or left, Trippier? I think he might have played.
He was on the right.
So it was all right. Okay, so I feel that. So I would go Luke Shaw.
Hold on, was he? 1 second. Let me actually check. I think he was on the left, you know. I think he was on the left. I think Kieran was actually on the left, you know.
But who played on that side then? Because I'm sure it was.
Trippier
I'm sure Shaw was playing right centre back.
Germany versus England lineups. Right, let me check because I'm sure Kieran was on the left, man. I'm sure he was on the left now. Now you say that. Oh my god.
It's more like this actually. Yeah, I know what it was. I know exactly what it was now.
I think Kieran was on the left. Yeah, he was on the left.
It was like this. It was like this.
Kieran was on the left.
I would do. I don't mind that. I mean, Chilwell, I don't know, for whatever reasons, can't. He hasn't been playing for, and I think he should, specifically in that role for me, because that's where he plays for Chelsea. This formation in that position. Yeah. Trippier's done well with that, but I don't think Trippier's a natural left back. If that makes sense.
He's not. Like, you know what I say. He's a right back, but he can do a really good job on the left hand side. But can we just, people in the comments, can we just admire that quality back line? Those 5 players are just. Look at it. It just looks beautiful, man. They are all quality players, all of them. Luke Shaw, Trippier, Maguire holding down the centre. You have Stones and Walker on the right. Like, I'm saying this right now, though, Jem. We play Stones and Walker on the right. I think we're in trouble.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, this is fine. Stones and Walker's fine like that. They're both quite quick. They know each other. They've played together. I think that works. I would personally put Chilwell in. That's what I would do. That's why I think we could be better going forward with the ball, because I feel like Chilwell would give. I think Chilwell and Luke Shaw would be quite tasty. I've not seen it. I don't think we have been able to see it yet. But you've got two natural left footers, two players that can get forward, two players that can get back and defend as well. Trippier's good, but I would personally play. I mean, I can see why Walker would play there with his pace up and down the wing covering, but I think Trippier could get in for Walker.
Yeah, I agree. But like I keep saying though, like look at last game though. They all they were doing was attacking the right hand side because we were so sketchy on the right hand side, bro. Like I'm saying this now. Yes, Stones and Walker know each other, but it's just it was a bit of a mess, and all they were doing was going down the right hand side. So that's why I think for me, Trippier needs to play on that right hand side.
For me, that looks more sexy. That's for me. Like that, and that's not just me trying to get Chilwell in. I just think that's Chilwell's position for Chelsea. It's the same formation. Like
I don't, you know what? To be honest, I don't think there's a wrong or right back line. I think they're all quality. Like if Chilwell plays, I like Ben. I think he's a good player. If he plays, I'll be happy because I rate him. I think he's definitely the second best left back after Luke Shaw in the league. So if he plays, I won't be too pissed off. I just want Trippier to play. Anyway. I would play that as well. Yeah, I'll back you on that, G. I'll play that. I'll play that back line. I like that. Yeah.
I think that's a good enough lineup. Let's have a look at what people are saying in the chat as well. Jem, let me on. I know the team. Okay, cool. Gonna get you on, Wayne. 2 seconds, mate. Walker ain't convincing me. I think a back four would be better, but you got to bear in mind Denmark are going to play three at the back. They're going to play exactly how Germany did. Velv, hope you're well, bro. Hope you are well. Big up to you as well, DR. Play Chilwell and Luke Shaw. That's what I would do. That's specifically what I would do. Because I think it works, Velv. I don't get, if we go three at the back, does that not look sexier? When you look at it, does that not work more? Walker was bad in the first half for someone whose experience is shocking. I hear that. I do hear that. Chilwell ain't better than Robbo.
Oh, come on. Oh, shit. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about Robertson. Sorry. Yeah, no, Robertson is the best after Luke Shaw. Yeah.
If after Luke Shaw, if it's wing backs, I would rather Saka and Chilwell than Shaw as wing back. Shaw's not a wing back though. Shaw's a right centre back. I like Shaw as a right centre back. I think that's his best position. I mean, he's been playing very well going forward and setting up. Don't get me wrong, he's been doing that very well. But even if he does go forward, Chilwell will just slip in. Do you know what I mean? And Trippier could do the same, I guess, as well. But I just feel like it's more interesting. All right, Ads, no worries, man. That's fine.
Take care.
See you in a bit. For me, that's a more interesting lineup, people. I want to know what your thoughts are, people. I'm going to put the link in the chat now as well. Let's try and get to 20 likes. I want to have your views on this lineup. And we're also going to talk about player of the tournament. Who we think is the player of the tournament. Who deserves to be the player of the tournament. I want you guys to get involved as well. The link is in the chat for you to come in and have your say as well. We've got Wayne with us. Wayne, what's happening, bro?
You good? You all right?
Yeah, not bad, man. How are you?
Yeah, I've had some good news, but today, so it's all good.
Good.
The team, I'll tell you about it in a minute. The team, it was Walker was playing centre back, right centre back, with Stones in the middle, Maguire on the left, Shaw was left wing back, Trippier was right wing back. In the middle was Rice and Phillips. Then it was the front three was Saka. No, he didn't play Germany, did he? It was
Saka did play against Germany. Saka was playing right wing and Grealish was playing left wing that game.
No, that wasn't Germany. That was the game after that. I'm trying to think of Germany. The front three was Kane, Sterling, and
Kane, Sterling, and Saka. It was Saka, yeah.
no, because Saka was injured, so it weren't Saka.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Saka.
Well, it was Saka. Saka was playing against Germany. Yeah.
Okay.
Saka was playing. Yeah,
it was Saka.
It was Saka.
But
I remember Saka.
But what I would do if I would play Shaw left wing, left centre back. He's played at Man United, and I wouldn't play Chilwell or play Saka. The reason why I don't think he played Chilwell because he's of what's happened with COVID and what's happened with everything else. I don't think he really fancies him at the moment. Does that make sense?
I hear that. Still haven't got minutes in this tournament. Has he even got minutes?
Look, I don't get how Sancho had no minutes. Hardly.
No, he did. He had a few minutes. He came on a substitute for last 7 minutes.
It was a few minutes, wasn't it? Literally, let's be serious. Like, my point, you look at that team, right? If we were going to match Denmark with the three at the back and whatever, I just think that looks a lot more saucier. You could argue Walker could come in for Trippier. Don't get me wrong in that position. But I just think a Luke Shaw and Chilwell combination. Chilwell playing in a position that he knows how to play because he's played for Chelsea would be better. In my opinion.
But Jim, my question is, why do we need to go in this formation against Denmark? Because they'll be going with the exact same formation.
Yeah, but we don't, because we've done it against Germany. We matched them and we played them off the park.
Yeah, but I get it, but
what you've got to bear in mind is when you play three at the back, you get caught. Obviously, this is how they will line up. Denmark. They will have their wing backs that going forward. They will pack out the midfield as well. If we're going to play a 4-2-3-1, then I feel like we might get isolated in the midfield. I feel like there's a potential that we might get outnumbered. You might see Phillips getting dragged wide, Declan Rice getting dragged wide because their wing backs are going forward more. Then you're asking Sterling and Sancho to tuck in to cover these spaces. But
the problem is, if we play with the formation, Mount's not starting. Because Mount can't play in the pivot. You ask more defensive of him. Yeah. He's not going to do that. He will do the working hard in the midfield, but he's not going to do the defensive. And plus, with the back, he'll probably do a job, but I don't think he will be good enough to do it. And with the back three, we need to keep the same back three that we've been doing all this time.
I know, I agree.
They have the chemistry. We need to keep it same.
I definitely agree with that. I just feel, why can't I just switch them like that? Why didn't it do that? The
thing is, for me, with Kyle Walker, I've just not been a fan of him in this tournament. I think he's been very defensive-minded, and I don't really think why. I don't know why, because he's not. He can be a forward-minded player. He can be attacking-wise, but he seems to, when he gets that ball, he looks for a simple pass back. He never looks forward.
Yeah, he's definitely more cautious, I'd say, as well. I mean, in terms of the midfield, do you think Rice and Phillips is just a definite? Like, there's no way in hell that's going to change. Rice and Phillips.
I think Henderson should be in instead of Rice, but it's because I just don't like him. I just don't rate him as a player. But that's not being noble to him. It's just I don't rate him as a player. And I'd rather have Henderson in there with Phillips. I think that would be a good partnership. But obviously Southgate sees something there that we don't.
Yeah, I do hear that. There's loads of people talking in the chat at the moment. I mean, Alan's joining us as well. Alan, how you doing, bro? You right?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. Not bad. What are your thoughts on how England should line up against Denmark? Do you think they should match like they did against Germany? Do you think we should match them in terms of formation, or would you stick to the four at the back? What would you do?
I think we matched up with Germany just because of the threat that they had. They had a lot of better quality. Not going to look past Denmark because we've done it against Croatia. We got knocked out. I don't think he will match up. I think he'll stay with what he knows, and I think he'll go with the same team that beat Ukraine quite convincingly. If it does start going wrong and they do they do have us outmanned in the midfield and on the wings, I think he might revert to a 3-4-3 during the game. He might switch it around to compensate, but I think he'll stick with what won against Ukraine quite convincingly.
What would you do? You see this lineup now. Obviously, this is pretty much who played against the Ukraine. I mean, would that be your specific team, and would you change anything looking at that?
The person I would change, and I've said all along, I wouldn't play Walker. As a Spurs fan, I know you put him in a defence that isn't as solid.
Yeah.
He uses his pace to bail him out. He's shaky at best. I think I've always said I'd put Reece James there. I'd have Reece James on the right. He's better going forward and back. He's the more complete player. He's had a better season. Walker's just, and we've seen in quite a few of these games, he's misplayed passing, out of position, and he just uses his pace to get back in. So I wouldn't play Walker, but Southgate's going to stick with what he knows.
That's good because especially the left wing back Mele, he's had a fantastic tournament for Denmark. So he's going to be the one overloading that right-hand side. And it's better if we keep James there because he's more defensive. Good.
Yeah,
He's
I hear that. I
very
just got
pacey as well.
Yeah. I feel like he's not going to change anything. I feel like Walker. I think Walker's had quite a poor tournament. I think he's lacked concentration in positions which can cause us problems, especially in this latter end of the semis and the finals potentially if we make it as well. I feel like we've got so much talent in that position that I don't feel like if someone's having a bad game or there's that little if or but, I feel like Southgate should think about maybe giving someone else a go. Do you know what I mean? Allow them to capitalise. Because let's face it, we're full of talent there. You know what I mean? We are full of talent.
Can I be honest? I think we should drop Phillips for this game.
Why?
I feel like Henderson should start in this game.
I
Why
don't
don't
agree
you
with that.
You don't think so?
Why though? Explain.
I feel like with Phillips, he had some good moments in some games. Like only Croatia has been good. I feel like with Phillips, he lacks a bit of concentration because sometimes when the player gets the ball, they brush past him and they will have to deal with Rice. I feel like with Henderson won't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's Rice that's been in quite a position more than Phillips. I think Phillips has been the better player. I was one of the people when he first started in the team. I was like, why is he in there? He hasn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah, I feel like both Phillips and Rice have been underwhelming. Like, we expected more from them this competition.
Well, C1 London says, I don't think you should change up your back line up going into semi-finals to final. But if Walker doesn't start, I'm not going to cry. So I feel like we all feel the same when it comes to Walker as well. Phillips can go into reckless tackles at times. I hear that as well. But I feel like he's been. If you was to ask me who's been better, Phillips or Rice, I'd probably say Phillips. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like he's been the better player on the ball, the way he covers the ground.
Rice has got better.
Games.
Rice has got better as it's gone on. I think Phillips has just been like the more consistent out of the two.
The next question for me, for you guys, is obviously the Mason Mount situation. Does he still start in that midfield, or do you think there's an opportunity for someone like Grealish to come in more so? Because people would say that against Denmark, they were probably set up to just be hard to break down. England will see a lot more of the ball. We won't need as many legs to work back. Do you feel like that Grealish could jump in?
I think Grealish should come on as a sub.
No, I think Grealish should play. The reason I don't know who for, but the reason why is because I can see Vestergaard, I can see Christensen, even though me and Jem were like, what about him? I'm not going to go down that road because Lewis be here. But and their captain, I can't remember how to say his name. They're very.
I think he's out Grealish, for the game.
I think, and with Højbjerg as well. I think Grealish, he can cause trouble, and they're going to go harsh in him and make a lot of fouls, and that could produce opportunities for us in the air. So I think he should play because he's that sort of player.
Yeah, I mean, God,
yeah. Sorry. So for me, it's a very good position for us to be in. Where, let's be honest, most of the country have been like, why hasn't Grealish played more? Why hasn't Sancho played more? Mount should be in. You've got that many different positions. So it's only good for England. For me, I don't understand why Mount gets such a bad rap half the time. For me, I think when he's been in the team, he's done well. And this is coming from a Spurs fan, and I don't really like many Chelsea players, but Mount, I think, has done a really good job, like when called upon in the team. So I think he deserves to keep his place. I don't think he's done anything that warrants him being dropped. Same again, I think Grealish should be in the team because he's one of our more creative players. But can you fit both in? I think he can. Will he change a winning team? I don't think he will.
Here's the thing why Grealish won't start. Mount is a hard worker in midfield. he's going to be pressing and pressing. Grealish won't do that. Grealish will just wait for the ball, pick up the ball, and drive up the defense. Whereas Mount, he'll be pressing for that ball, winning tackles, winning possession, and then try to feed it to either Sterling or Kane. I feel like Grealish should come on as a sub, not as a starter, but as a sub.
A lot of people in the chats are saying 4-3-3s, attacking with our midfield being Mount, Phillips, and Grealish. He's saying drop Declan Rice is what he feels. He feels like, look, I think Phillips can play that role. I think Phillips could hold. I think he could cover. I think it'd be good. I know people saying, but Mason Mount can't play in a double pivot. And
but as a loan, will you trust Phillips to do as a loan DM?
I think so. Does he not do that for Leeds?
Yeah.
He doesn't do it consistently enough for Leeds, but he does a good job. But I'm just looking at the defence. I think they've been good this tournament, but Stones, Maguire, you have mistakes in them. So that's why I would rather play with a pivot of Phillips or Mount, or Phillips, Henderson, because they'll both help, they'll both protect the defence.
A fun fact, a Chelsea player is guaranteed to win the final. Well, there you go, innit? It says it all. Champions of Europe, no champions mentality, knows how to win things.
No Ballon d'Ors for any Chelsea players, please.
Can I ask you a question? Is London blue?
I think it is. It's been blue for a very long time, mate. I think Alan could admit that one as well, couldn't you, Alan?
I would say it's more blue than red, to be fair. I wish it could be white. I wish it could be white, but it won't be for some time. So let's just move on.
Oh, you brought in someone that's meant to be very good in terms of the border directing, someone that could potentially help keep Harry Kane. So that'll be interesting news.
We're a mess. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's talk about predictions anyway. What are your predictions for both? Obviously, we spoke about Italy and Spain earlier. I think it's going to be more closer than what people think. A lot of people saying Italy are just going to walk this. Wayne, who are you going for, Italy or Spain?
I do think Italy's got the better squad, and I think they've got the better. I think forward-wise, I think they're better off, because I think, as we know, Chelsea fan, Morata, he's Marmite. You can either love him or hate him, and he plays like that, and it's what he is. So if he's on and he's up for the game, then I think Spain could do it, because he can be a handful, especially for the two centre backs who are getting on in their age, and I think Morata could do and knows the game because they play the same team. No, I think Italy's just got it, and I do really think it could be a coming home. Put it that way.
It's coming home, is what Wayne says there. What are you saying, Alan? Italy, Spain. How do you feel it's going to go?
I think, like I put in the chat, I think it's going to be close. I think it'll go all the way to penalties, and Italy will win it. On penalties against Spain, Italy are due a bad game. They haven't lost in like 30 odd games now, haven't they? I think that's they've
30 games unbeaten, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So I think they're due a bad game. If it doesn't come against Spain and they get past Spain, you would hope it would come against. If it's us in the final, it would come against us. But I think Italy will have just a bit too much for Spain.
Fair enough, Velf.
I think with the Italy-Spain game, it depends on who Spain's starting lineup is. Because they need someone to get past. They need a midfielder that can lock the defence, someone that can play the balls in between the lines of past Chiellini and Bonucci, and the strikers option. Both Moreno and Morata haven't been good this tournament, but Morata's the one who's been getting the goals. So it just depends what they do, Spain. But for me, I think it'll be a close game. I'll just probably say 1-0 to Italy.
See, I feel like it could go. I've said it earlier. I think it can go. I think it's not going to be as clear cut as people think. I think Italy are expected to win, and I think if they do, it will be a 2-1. But at the same time, I could easily see a Spain 2-1, and I can actually see a Morata goal. I don't know why. I can just see something mad happening. Like, he's playing against players that he plays for under Juve, especially from the defence aspects of it. Like, I just feel like it's such a weird tournament. Like, and I feel like Italy are due a game a little bit as well. Where they might just dip at it, not be hitting the levels that they should be.
It's been unexpected this tournament. Because who would have predicted Switzerland to knock out France, Czech Republic to knock out Netherlands, and all the group of death all gone home.
Yeah, I think it'll be 2-1 either both way. Like either Spain or Italy will win 2-1 in that one, and I think it's going to be a good game to watch as well. People, please make sure you smash the like button. Let's try and get us to 30 likes if you can. Subscribe if you're new to GNA TV as well. Hit the notification buttons below as well, so that it lets you know when we go live as well. We have been a little bit slower in terms of our streaming recently. Usually we're quite consistent, but obviously with the Euros and the very limited Chelsea transfers at the moment, it's hard to keep coming forward with stuff. But Man United are pretty busy at the moment, so you might hear some Man United news later on at some point with us.
What I've heard tonight as well. I've heard tonight about Varane. He's literally 55 million. They're saying the deal could be done
with Man United.
Yeah.
I don't see why Real Madrid are going to get rid of both Ramos and Varane in one window. It doesn't make sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me. I just think they're going to offer him a big contract just to like keep him in, but we'll see. Maybe money talks. But why do I feel Christensen will score a banger for some reason? Because you saw him do it for the first time in his career the other day. Do you know? I've got a big fact for Lewis if you're watching as well about Christensen.
Here we go.
Barring the goal against Denmark, has he ever scored a goal in his career for either Chelsea or even for his country? The answer is no. He has 0 goals. The guy has
his
0
first ever career goal.
That's his first ever career goal. Ever. And this is the guy that's touted to win Ballon d'Or, fucking world class.
Oh no, don't start with this.
It was some goal, to be fair. It was some goal. It was
a good goal.
Nah,
but
it was some goal.
Ballon d'Or for Jorginho, Ballon d'Or for Mason Mount, Ballon d'Or for Christensen. What's going on?
It's just Chelsea fans, mate. They're in another planet. But England, Denmark, Wayne, what's the score going to be, mate?
I'm going to say 2-0 England, and I think Money Mace is going to lead England to the victory. I've got that feeling Money Mace is going to turn up.
Feels Money Mace is going to turn up. What about you, Alan?
2-1. I think it'll be a tight game. I think there'll be nerves there considering what happened in the World Cup, but I think we'll have just enough quality to get to the final. I hope.
He always comes through, doesn't he? As long as Chelsea players doesn't win the Ballon d'Or, I can sleep at night. Neeks, big up to Neeks as well in the chat. Always there and about. The link is in the chat, people. If you want to come on and have a chat about the England-Denmark game, feel free to do so. Velv, what about you?
I don't know why we're playing Denmark. It's already coming home. They might as well give us the trophy right now. It's coming home.
Really? You're that confident?
Yeah, it's coming home.
It's a bit too confident, isn't it?
Yes, no. I've heard it so many times. You look fresh, Jerry. What's happening, mate?
Thanks, bro. I just got a trim today, man.
Hey.
Jerry, how confident are you feeling about England, Denmark? What's your thoughts on the overall game? Are you confident that they can win it, or do you feel like there could be a little upset on the cards?
You know, because people, even I know, like ever since almost started, I've always been Southgate in. I always get behind him. Like people always complain about the lineup, weird lineup. Like people need to stop complaining, just get behind the team. And then whenever people start complaining, he ends up winning the game. Yes, the football can boring, but like as long as get the result, that's the most important thing. And I think Southgate has actually done amazing, like to get this far. Like 3 semi-finals, this is the 3rd semi-final now, and this is a chance that he can prove to anyone that he's the one. Like that song, Southgate, You're the One song.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one, and plus I think he's done well.
Correction, it's Sir Southgate we're calling him.
Yeah,
this is true. This is true. Yeah, I've never seen a more confident guy than Jerry. He lives in a fairy tale land of trophies. He's still living for 21, even though we're going to be out of 21 soon. Can't win 21 anymore, mate. Sorry.
I think we've got the chance to do it next season, but on the England game, I think we can actually do it. In my opinion, because if we go further the back, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind further back or 4 at the back. But what I see Southgate doing, he's got to play Luke Shaw and Walker back and Maguire and Stones because them two the best partnership. And what I also want to see, I think I want him to bring back Sancho, Sterling. I think I want him to bring the same team. This time, I want to drop Mount and put Grealish in the middle. That's what I would do for Denmark game.
I hear you. It's going to be interesting. And look, England need to turn up. Yes, they got the home advantage. Yes, they've got the home advantage in the final if they get in Italy or Spain. But I just feel like Southgate, a lot of people will question Southgate at the beginning of this tournament because they felt like strategy-wise, he wasn't good enough. He'd picked the wrong players. And to be honest, I fell into that trap. I thought when I saw the lineups of like Phillips and Rice in one team playing, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Do you know what I mean? Like,
the ref's been good though.
It's just what I was about to say. It's working at the moment, so it's hard to question Sterling. You know, I was and Neeks knows he's in the chat as well. I was criticising Sterling on his channel. I was saying he shouldn't be on the pitch. Take him off in the first, or I think it was the first or second game of the tournament. And you know, he's shut up most people, not just me, but he's shut up most people, and he deserves.
And the Golden Gloves, the Golden Gloves must go to Jordan Pickford. The guys will see the goal.
Yeah, not one goal.
Won it. I think he's already won it.
After the World Cup, I was a massive critic of Southgate because everyone was on the hype train. I was saying to people, we never played anyone we played of note, we lost. You know, I just didn't think Southgate was the person. And I think he's matured, the team's matured, and literally everything's just come together in a way that he's now matured as a manager where he's doesn't have to pick the best names. He picks the right team for the right occasion, the right system. And for me, I think he's done really well this tournament, and Southgate's changed my opinion of him. He really has.
Yeah, and yes, Neeks, he does. Jerry's just a hopeful fan. He expects his teams to compete at the highest level all the time, and he expects trophies. That's the way he rolls. I did ask this question: who's been the player of the tournament so far? And Neeks has come in and said the player of the tournament so far is either Sterling or Jorginho.
I know who's Jem's voting.
Wayne.
That's Sterling.
Wayne, what are you saying, mate? Who's been your player of the tournament so far?
I'll be honest, I don't know. If I had to put some names to it, it'd be, I think Jorginho could be up there. But I think Pickford could be up there for clean sheets as well. It's hard, but it's actually quite hard. See, for me, England's best player, I say, has been Luke Shaw, in my opinion. I think Luke Shaw's been unbelievable.
I hear that.
So would you say he's been good for the whole tournament?
I think he's been very good.
I would say for the last two games, he's been good.
No, he's performed very well.
He's gone better.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say that overall. If you're talking about that overall, then probably Sterling, because he's been scoring the goals and he's been creating the chances.
But he scored goals, I'll give you that. But what has he done after? In the first few games, what did he do to score goals? Because someone tell me. Because he started doing things against Germany, I get that, and his last game. But before that, he scored goals, but I don't think he did anything else with it. If that makes sense, any setting up or hard defensive or whatever.
Not forgot for Kane in Ukraine, and plus he also subbed game for the Germany game when Kane scored. No, nothing else in there.
No, yeah, is that your player of the tournament? Because obviously there's talks about Spinazzola. Obviously he got an injury which knocks him out of the tournament completely. Who's performed very well for Italy as well. You could talk about Locatelli, Barella.
Locatelli hasn't played recently, so
that was my one. Barella, I think he's been. Barella, that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah, Jan Sommer has been very good as well.
Yeah,
Jan Sommer. Yeah, I hear that. I mean, Alan, is that yours? Yeah, is that who you're going for?
Barella. Yeah, I think he's been different gravy for Italy. I wish we could sign somebody like that.
Top player. I hear that. What are you saying, Velv?
For me, it's Jan Sommer. Because I watch Switzerland, because I'm part Swiss fan as well. He's been saving Switzerland all the time. Like, look at the last game against Spain. All shots were coming at him. He was saving all of them. In the penalty shootout, he's been saving them. It's just because the other players have been poor. Like they're not scoring him when he's constantly saving us all the time. And yeah, he's a world class goalkeeper. He's criminally underrated.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, fair enough. We've all gone a bit everywhere at the moment. Jerry, what are you saying, bro?
Playoff tournament.
Yeah.
Sterling, man. He has to be Sterling. Because no one actually expected him to do this madness. Because people were saying that just because he had a bad season, Man City, although they won the league, he should be dropped. Yeah, or was he? There's people saying that Grealish and Sancho should be on the wing, but Southgate put faith on Sterling, yeah, and he's actually done a mad. Like no one expected, and like that Germany game Sterling scored in, yeah, they gave us gave the team the confidence here that they can beat Germany, and that's when Kane scored, yeah, like, and yeah, and I'm really happy for us then because like if we win the Euros, yeah, let's say if we win the Euros, yeah, I want to see Sterling score, yeah, I want to see Sterling score, like I want people like other people in the media give him the ultimate respect that he deserves.
So what are you saying, Jerry? Sterling from Ballon d'Or?
Not Ballon d'Or. Nah, not Ballon d'Or. I want to say
Fair enough.
Hey, Alex.
Man like the Euro expert is in the house. Alex, obviously there's a lot to talk with you, actually, to be fair. Obviously, last time we see you on here, you touted Turkey to be the dark horses.
You throw under the bus.
That day he's been hiding from everyone, you know. I've not seen him for a while. All of a sudden, he turns up in a semi-final. England are there. He's all happy now. Alex, we're talking about players of the tournament. So obviously,
I know. I've been listening along for a bit.
Yeah, obviously, I want to know what your thoughts are and who you think is the player of the tournament.
I forget. Well, you guys have been giving
Yilmaz as player of the tournament.
You guys have been given some fair shouts. Raheem Sterling's one. I'm here to cause some controversy and provide two alternate views. So, my first one is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Right.
Ooh, okay.
If Denmark get to the final, Højbjerg's it, because at Tottenham he's been a destroyer, right, a ball winner, and he's been Jose Mourinho's little shithouse. But for Denmark, he's been one of the most progressive passers at the Euros. He's like in every category for getting the ball up the pitch, one of the most forward passers. It's pretty weird how he's reinvented himself, and he's made a lot. I think he's made the most shot-creating actions, which is also strange because he's a midfielder. So if Denmark gets to the final, I think he's a big part of it. And my other one's Jorginho, because he's with this Italy side. I haven't been too impressed by the attack, but I've been very impressed by the midfield. And without Jorginho, it wouldn't work. So hello everyone. The last stream I was on, I was defending Jorginho. The first stream back I'm defending Jorginho.
What about Spinazzola? What about Barella? What about the other individuals?
Well, you could say Mele has had a good tournament for Denmark as well.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Really?
What about the potato? What about the potato, Jem?
Crusty potato.
Yeah, the one who's up front for Turkey.
Oh, Burak Yilmaz. Yeah,
Yilmaz has been excellent, man. Man's gone missing.
Yilmaz just let me and Alex down massively.
Oh yeah, he's thrown us under the bus. No, the thing is with Spinazzola, if he hadn't been injured, I think he'd be on track to get it. But it's the same with Pogba. Pogba probably has the best case for any man to ever get knocked out of the Euros to play in the tournament. Magical, but it's all these players dropping out. Like I think the true favourite is Raheem Sterling, and that's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
It will be.
Oh, I got two other good shots as well.
Well, one of them
Pedri for Spain.
Go on, Velv. Go on.
Yes, I got two. Pedri for Spain because he's been very good, and Damsgaard for Denmark, the young.
Well, I hear them. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, Jorginho's going to be up there, and I understand why he's probably involved in that. I also think there's a number of other Italian players that deserve a shout along with him. So I don't think he's ran away with it. You look at England, it's got to be Sterling for me. I actually think Luke Shaw's been very good as well for me. I think he's been very important in terms of the way he must have created most of our goals.
3 assists.
Every time I looked at the end of it,
3 assists in the last 2 games.
Insane. This
You know,
guy.
I said him.
I don't care what people say. Yeah, Luke Shaw's best left in the world right now.
No,
I'm saying
That's
that.
the thing.
Oh,
If you
so-
said to me Champions League,
Oh,
if you said Champions League, it was Chilwell. No one can argue that. Chilwell, after that
but
Champions
Shaw
League,
hasn't
showed
played though.
his
what
quality.
do you
But
mean?
I admit,
Mm.
through
What do
the
you mean?
Euros, Luke
Yeah.
Shaw has just gone another leaps and bounds. And he's
Yeah.
done brilliantly.
No. The best left back is obviously Reguilon, man. What are you man talking about?
Regular. Oh, Lord.
I don't think Alan
I
will
don't know.
agree with that one.
Luke
No, I
Shaw.
think Andy Robertson's still up there, but Shaw is catching up. Shaw's definitely catching up.
Shaw, amazing.
Yeah.
Ravios, what's your thought on Christensen? Christensen's been pretty sick as well.
He's asking me that because he saw me on the agenda show talking to
Mm.
Lewis about Christensen, and obviously, as along with Jorginho, people think I hate Christensen as well. I don't hate any of them two, by the way. I've said this a number of times on 100 of streams that I don't hate these players. They play for my football club. I can't hate them, you know.
It's
so
just Lewis.
Yeah.
look, Christensen's another one performing very well for Denmark, playing a system that probably works for him because he's played under Tuchel in that same formation with the three at the back, playing as the right centre back, which is helping in his performances. And for me, the next game's a big one. We'll see. You know, him up against Sterling. You know, it's going to be an interesting game. And
I've got
he's
one.
played well.
Let's thought of someone. Michael Oliver.
Who?
Michael Oliver, the referee.
Oh.
No. I hate that guy. I hate him. I hate him.
No,
with a passion.
yeah, you could say that, but if it weren't for him, Ericsson wouldn't be here.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's taking a bit of a
That's why
turn,
I'm
really, hasn't
saying
it?
What he did is better than all the football ethics. He saved someone's life.
Yeah.
So to me, he could get that. My personal opinion.
My next big question actually this is going to cause controversy because I think we're all going to have a different thought on this. Who has been the flop of the tournament?
Kante.
Okay.
Flop of
Kante.
the tournament.
Oh, individual.
Yeah, I'm
Kante.
talking about player. Yeah, individual. Who everyone thought was going to do very well in the tournament and absolutely done the complete opposite.
Berardi.
Who?
Berardi of Italy.
Berardi of Italy.
Yeah, he's been their right winger, and he's a guy about to move to Leicester as well. And pre-tournament, he's a guy who got like 20 goals in Serie A. Pre-tournament, everyone was saying he should do sick, and he's been anonymous so far.
That's one of my shouts. Mbappe.
Mbappe, I was going to say that as well. Man.
And my other one, and I'm a fan of him. I think he's a great player, but I don't think he had the tournament everyone was expecting, and that was Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
I feel harsh with both of those players though, because I feel like they're never meant to carry that. Like Bruno Fernandes just wasn't a right fit in Portugal. I think Portugal as a whole flopped, and the same with France. Like Mbappe, even in that first game, he was like a fraction offside, and if he hadn't been, he would have scored one of the goals of the tournament.
No,
which I know we're talking ifs and buts there, but I feel harsh including him.
If somebody,
The worst part was the penalty shootout. Oh my god,
That was Lloris. That was
If
Lloris.
I was the man said, don't take it. I'll give it to someone else.
bro, what? After that penalty shootout, you got the parents of the teams fighting each other.
Yeah. No, that penalty shootout, I got pissed off at that penalty shootout because just everyone was blaming Mbappe for that, whereas Lloris was horrendous.
Yeah.
Like there was the one shot.
No.
There's one penalty he should have saved.
Yeah, I know, but I want to blame Lloris because he did save a penalty during the game. I kept him in
when
the
it got
game.
to 3-1, everyone thought the game was done. Then when they had got two more goals, like what?
Yeah.
I'm talking specifically the penalty shootout. Like outside the game, Lloris is great in the rest of the game. Specifically the penalty shootout, right? It was like Switzerland take a penalty. That say this is the ball, take the penalty. Lloris goes like that, and then they just tap it in the other side. He done it like 3 times. So every Switzerland page calmly slotted it in. They weren't great penalties as we saw against Spain. It was just Lloris flopping it every time.
I think they were better against France in the penalties than they were against Spain. Yeah. Lloris has got, as a Spurs fan, a really good track record of saving penalties. I agree there was one against Switzerland which actually hit his hand and went in. He could have done better with. But my criticism of Mbappe is for somebody who's got so much speed, why is he leaving it that he's close? He's always getting caught offside. He's got so much speed. He can just drop it back a little bit.
You know what it was, Alan? It was arrogance. Mbappe has been so arrogant in this competition.
Yeah.
And I think it's since the Giroud incidents that he's became arrogant.
look, I think you can pick a number of France players. For me, one of them, and people are probably going to disagree with me, but not Spain. France leaked a lot of goals this tournament. They were leaking.
They struggled against Hungary, fam. That's why I knew they're winning it.
I'm going to pick Varane as one of them because for me, he was touted. I was being told that this guy is an elite defender, world class, and I was taking the piss when I called him the
reason why he's this good, yeah.
Well, I called him the pace merchant, right? And everyone got on me and said,
"You said he's Christian with pace."
He doesn't need Sergio Ramos next to him. He's that good, you know. And he's shown that he's not as good as people think he is. He's a top defender, but he's not a world class defender. And he, for me, is dropped his expectations.
No, Jem. Do you know what thing? I put that down to Didier Deschamps because he's changed the tactics. He changed the tactics when he didn't need to. He should have gone for the same thing that he's been doing. Has helped them win games, but he changed the tactics that cost them. Because you're changing the tactics. You're playing Rabiot. You're playing Rabiot at left back. Who does that?
No, No, on that point, yeah, he should have picked three. Man got 2 left backs and both injured. Man should have taken 3, yeah. If he's taken 3, yeah, no one will say nothing, yeah. When Southgate takes 3 right backs, people start complaining. I'm like, what are people doing? He should be more quick to put. And plus, look at Southgate now in semi-finals now, and look at the Jean.
But then there's another player I was thinking about, Diaz as well. For me, he's a flop.
Forgot about Diaz. He's a good one as well.
I told everyone he's so crap for Portugal. Like, he's so rubbish.
I think I was going to say, I think with lots of these teams, like with the big teams, Portugal, France, and stuff, I feel harsh picking like a player from them because then you could like Joe was just saying, you could pick lots of players. And I'd rather pick like players we expected a lot from who haven't actually done anything. Like Berardi for Italy in a way. I guess as Spain, like Oyarzabal Morata. Like they've really not done as much as you'd want.
I expect him more from Moreno because he scored 30 goals last season and he hasn't scored this competition. For me, is Kante. The reason I say this because Chelsea fans hyped him up saying, "Oh, if France win the Euros, he should win Ballon d'Or."
No,
I'll go from your expectations from Chelsea.
But then your argument is Kante's the flop because France got knocked out.
No, the reason you're saying
but he hasn't had a good tournament, Kante.
That's what it is, and that's why you're trying to find a reason. Because he's been knocked out of a tournament and it's got Kante in it. It's like, oh yeah, it's Kante's fault.
But he hasn't been great.
But Val, you're saying he hasn't been great. I agree. Name me a French player who has been good apart from Pogba.
No.
True.
Benzema.
Probably Benzema. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Well, but Mbappe, who's meant to be their main players.
No, Mbappe is the biggest one.
Who's meant to be one of the elite defenders at the back has been not.
I would have said for Benzema, he was just clinical for Benzema rather than amazing. I think he was just clinical.
That's fair. What about Gnabry or maybe Gnabry from Germany who started most of the games and he did absolutely nothing.
Out of position.
No, the worst one is Thomas Müller.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout.
That's a shout.
Do you feel like he didn't play, did he?
No, for Werner's normal.
He stuck against England. I did nothing.
I swear Werner's a goalkeeper now.
Hey, in terms of Holland, obviously they scored going into the last 16. They scored the most goals of any other team at the time. They were doing quite well, and then they obviously had that moment and they got knocked out. But do you feel that if they had a Virgil van Dijk in that back, that they would have got a lot further than where they were, or do you think they would have been let down by their attack?
No,
no, because Frank de Boer is an idiot. He's the worst manager I've ever seen.
I think Frank de Boer fucked it.
A player for them I liked. Who was the right back? Was it Dumfries?
Dumfries, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was sensational this tournament.
The thing with Dumfries, though, I feel like I think he's going to be the player that if someone buys will get ripped off because I think with him it's that not trying to undermine you. He was really, really good this tournament, but I think every time he ran forward, he always left the space behind him quite sort of like not naively, but I remember watching against Ukraine, or it might have been North Macedonia. Every time he ran forward, they were like, "All right, we're going to lob the ball over him." So I feel like he's got a bit of a way to go, but I definitely think He was definitely a highlight. He's so like, especially first 2 games, man. He was
So a lot
great.
of talent there, Alex.
actually,
Yeah.
I got a good one. I got a controversial one, and this may trigger everyone. Lukaku.
No.
What? Nah.
No.
Lukaku. The
Like,
reason
can't.
I'm saying this,
Like, no.
in big games, he hasn't stepped up for Belgium.
Yeah,
Then
it's
when
got
you
the
need
penalty.
him, yeah, but when you need him the most, he hasn't delivered.
Yeah, but are we really gonna? You can't blame the fact that Roberto Martinez's Belgium didn't beat Italy. It was on the fact that Lukaku didn't have the best game of his life.
And plus, Italy are a good team, innit? They're the best team in the tournament, so you can't expect Lukaku
Yeah,
to
but
do
how
that.
many goals has he scored? 2 or something.
4.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
4.
and he was like literally completely like imperative to have Belgian play because it was like I love watching him actually because he was in the box. He is one of those few strikers you punt the ball into now and he'll just hold it. And I think by the end actually I don't know if anyone watched the last 5 minutes against Italy. He became the victim because Belgium's method was I'm going to boot the ball up to Lukaku. Hopefully he brings it down and brings 2 players into play and they just carried on losing the ball.
Now,
Okay,
can I
maybe
talk
I'm
one
harsh,
shout? I can't talk a big shout. Eden Hazard.
Nah. Actually, has he played?
Hazard.
I mean,
What?
I agree he wasn't good,
Vascular.
but who
Was
expected
He
him to
played
do
very
well?
well.
Actually,
against
Yeah.
fucking the
I'll
other-
give my one.
Who is it?
He's my player.
Rangers.
He's a Liverpool player, but I'm going with Jota. I expected more from Jota this competition.
I've heard a few people say that.
Yeah.
What about Thiago Alcantara?
He hasn't played.
Yeah,
He
agree
could.
with that. What about
beat
this
the
one?
living shit out of me.
Burak Yilmaz. Alex?
Oh, forget.
Oh yeah.
They've got
No,
so-
I feel bad. I'm not about arguing that Yilmaz is good, but he got like no service. I think Turkey
No,
Turkey as a
Yilmaz was
whole.
too funny, man.
Yeah.
Man
Turkey
tried
as a
to
whole.
score man tried to score from the corner.
Yeah, but what is he meant to do? Do you know what Turkey were? Turkey were the Netherlands with slightly worse players. Like no organisation, just relying on hopefully the players linking up, and they didn't link up.
Yeah, they were hyped massively, but against
that
Italy,
one.
they looked like boys against men. Against Italy, they got absolutely destroyed. And then I just think the occasion got to them, and that's why they couldn't bounce back.
Yeah, it was a shame to see as well because like in qualification they were so good.
Yeah, I think give them a couple of years.
I think
give them the next tournament, they might do better than I think the occasion.
I
Got
think
to
it
them
was pressure. Because
Yeah.
this Turkey is kind of young, if you actually really look at it. The defense is young, the midfield fairly okay age, and the attack you got 2 wingers who are young, and a grandpa up top. And with the experience of Çalhanoğlu, Yilmaz, Yukoslu, they haven't stepped up, and they're the ones who's supposed to be helping this team to go forward.
I hear that. I do hear that. Obviously, we did have a squad builder up earlier. It'd been actually good if Alex was there actually as well, because it would have been good to show him this quickly before I
Wait,
was out.
Kevin De Bruyne, who's that?
I caught a glimpse of it earlier.
Oh, father.
So let's switch that before I disappear.
What's this?
But this is the squad that we think, actually
No.
minusing James.
No,
Because,
take James. That's like Walker.
It was the squad he should play.
Oh,
No,
man.
so Walker. I don't think Walker's that good. He's not.
I don't
He's
think
paced the
he's-
game.
I don't
out.
know, man. It's a
No,
bit-
if I was Southgate, what I'll do, if I was Southgate, I put
It's a
Chip
bit
in there.
dodgy,
That's what I'll
now.
do. I'll put Chip in there.
This is the team that we think he's going to go with. So the exact
Yeah,
same team
yeah.
that played against Ukraine, we think it's the same team. Do you feel like Sancho could potentially be dropped for a Saka? Do you feel like
I don't
Mount
know.
could be dropped for a Grealish? Like, what do you think?
I think Sancho will stay because I was listening to his post-match comments and he said something about that. The reason he picked Sancho is because he knew Ukraine would play a back 5 and he wanted Sancho to pull apart to stretch their defense basically, having a right-footed right winger. So that way, the Ukraine defense have to stretch across the pitch as much as possible. So I think Sancho will actually stay in, and I quite like the decision. I think I still think about Walker. I don't think Walker's been like amazing, but
I don't trust Walker, man.
as someone who
Especially big team,
as someone who called Gareth Southgate all manner of words for the past 6 months, I've publicly we've got to walk back on it. He has proven every single one of us wrong, and I think with Southgate you have to back him.
I cannot.
Yeah, no, forget it.
One.
Football's coming on again. I love that song, man.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Shh. Right. James left for 5 seconds. We're already chanting pub chants. But yeah, I don't think Southgate should change anything. But are you guys not sold on Walker then?
I've never even when he played for Spurs, I've never rated him for Spurs either. He's always getting caught out of position. He makes silly mistakes. He uses his pace to bail him out a lot. I just don't think he's as good as people make out. He looks better for Man City because they've got a better defence. So he looks more accomplished. I've never been sold on him even when he played for Spurs.
He's a fragile.
Well, Amar's gone a similar line. He says that Walker was average and then he was so bad against Ukraine. Can you enlighten me more in the comments, mate? Because when I was watching England with Ukraine, I don't remember much of it. We'll put it that way.
It was okay. It's not that bad.
Walker gave a back pass that almost led to a goal. He gave it to one of the Ukraine.
The thing is, if you drop Walker, do you put in Reece James? I don't know.
I'll drop a Trippier in there. I like Trippier better.
No,
I kind of like Trippier. Yeah.
No, the reason I start James because of melee. That's the reason. Melee's going to be attacking that right hand side. We need someone defensively strong.
Alan, if you played a back three, would you put Walker in the three centre backs?
I think he's got better. He's got more help back there with Stones and Maguire to help him, but I still wouldn't put him there. I see a mistake in him all the time. Every time when he played for Spurs, even when he plays for City, he's the one in the back line I think's always got the mistake in him. Actually, apart from Stones, but he's got better. But I've never liked him as a defender. I just think he's accident prone. Would be the polite way to put it.
I think with Walker in the back three, though, my argument before the rest of you guys go into it, I think having him there is a bit like when Chelsea start Timo Werner. It's like the opposition defence goes, oh, we will have to drop a bit deeper, and then for England, it's like, oh, we've got Walker in, we could push a bit higher.
Yeah, it's true, but then all the time you're going to catch up with that pace. Not all the time.
He's going to give away a pen Walker. Yeah. That's what he's irrational.
Let me check his stats.
He always gives away. Jerry, he always gives away his pens, man.
Yeah, but no one's told me that's done that tournament though.
Yeah.
Do you know I've been impressed by Maguire? I had an argument yesterday with someone on Twitter who said, this is something for the chat to get involved with as well. I had an argument on Twitter with someone who was arguing England is shit. They weren't an England fan, as you can imagine. They're arguing England was shit because they've got no world-class players. And it kind of devolved into what world-class means. But to me, I think Sancho, Kane are definitely there. And then on the fringes are Grealish and Maguire. I know Maguire gets a lot of stick. But Jeremiah, you'll know. When was the last time Maguire, high-profile flopped? And then given the last two times, I know the last time was probably going to be when he was going through all the off the field problems. I think he's so good.
And plus, I don't care what people say. If we had Maguire in that Villarreal final, we would have won the game easily. I don't care what people say. No, that's true. It's a fact. And plus, Maguire has been absolutely amazing this season. Even that goal, I was so happy to see that nice cross to Luke Shaw.
He finally used his head for once on goal.
But Maguire has actually been amazing. Him and Stones actually work well together in England. They're probably the best puncher I've seen, in my lifetime when I was watching England. Maguire is very crucial this game because he's strong. Yes, slow, but he's very strong as well. As a big kid, that's what we always call him, Slabhead. And I'm really happy for Maguire. He's done He puts on me with maybe one. And plus, if we win Euros, I want to see Maguire with a picture to all our fan base that hates Maguire. But there's so many people that in our fan that hate Maguire saying shit. Bring that smaller almost I thought
the fact that we can go in the competition without conceding a goal, it's actually mad.
Go on, Alan.
For me, Maguire's main problem is nothing to do with him. It's his price tag. As soon as you get a price tag like that, that's where people start nitpicking. You've got to be at this level to be at that price tag.
Captain.
Yeah, exactly. But at the start of the season, he made a couple of mistakes. I remember the game against Spurs. He was all over the place. I think he's come on massively since then, and since he's come into that back line, because I don't think I was the only one. Most England fans were thinking at the start of the tournament, that's our weak area, and it hasn't. It's looked anything but, to be fair. It's got better. Our defence has got better as we've gone on. So for me, Maguire's I think Maguire's world class.
Maguire's world class. And just to quickly
he's...
back up, obviously you guys talk about Walker, and I looked up the stats because Alex said, little Alex said, you guys are slating Walker, but what about the stats? And it actually backs you guys up. Alan, you said you think he can always concede a penalty. In the Premier League last season, he conceded 3 penalties just by himself, which is, for comparison, I have not seen a player in the Premier League concede that many penalties by himself. So you're completely spot on.
World Cup as well. World Cup first game against Tunisia, Walker.
Yeah, Walker against Tunisia.
I don't trust him.
Yeah. So he's got a mistake in him.
So if you guys to predict then England v Denmark, what do you think? Because I've been on a couple of podcasts this evening already trying to call it, and I at first I was very, very tight. I literally don't know, and I said maybe England. Then I chanted football's coming home and said 5-0 England. But at the moment, it's very hard to call. Chat, you tell us as well what you're thinking. What are any of you guys confident of either of Denmark or England winning?
It's coming home, Alex.
It's going to be close.
One, because Denmark's been made mad. Like last, they had a very bad start, losing 2 games because of like excellent incident. But I know it'll be a very tough game. It's going to be a very tough game. But Denmark's have some good players. Højbjerg from Spurs, Christensen, like.
Dolberg has been amazing for them as well.
I must say it's gonna be 2-0. Like it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be 1-0 England. Like, ugly 1-0. This one.
I think it'll be 2-1 England. It'll be a lot closer than what people think it may be. I think if you would have started the tournament, I think if we had come across Denmark, then maybe people would have said it'd be a better. But because of what happened to Eriksen and the way that it's galvanised their team, I think it's going to be such a close game. But I'm hoping that Southgate's learned his lesson from that semi-final against Croatia, where he just in that second half just so negative. I'm hoping that will be the catalyst for us to get past this game.
Well, the thing with Southgate, I'm thinking as well, like England head. What Southgate's proven this tournament, he's been so prepared, like way more than any of us gave him credit for. Especially for myself, I think I've gone on the record to call him clueless and in the wrong job. He should have been in the director role, and he's all vibes and no tactics. But I'm wrong. He's smashed it.
No, Alex, you know the thing is,
Cantor's man. I'm the only person that was Southgate in that I know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He's been Southgate in the beginning. Alex, do you know what Southgate's tactic is? If you don't wear a waistcoat, you win.
Anyway,
bear in mind, he wore a waistcoat against Scotland and we didn't win.
Anyway. All right. The point I was leading on to was I think out of Italy, Spain, and Denmark's the team I would at least want to play, because for Italy and Spain, I reckon he's done loads of pre-tournament research is unchanged, right? Like they've played this tournament how we expected them to play, and it's pretty much the same what we're expecting. With Denmark, as Alan was saying about the Eriksen thing, it's galvanised them, and they've just morphed throughout the tournament into a different team. So I think with his Denmark plans, he's probably torn them apart because it's not really relevant anymore. And they're the team you're thinking. I like to use the classic Robbie Savage phrase, which, by the way, if you've been counting this tournament, he said the word desire about 6 million times. I do actually think it plays into this, because that Denmark side are going to put their bodies on the line for this. Yeah. And that's what worries me as an England fan. By the way, just to quickly interject, because I don't want to interact. I want to interact with the chat a bit more, and it's a bit relevant to what you're saying. Dr. Anamar Jassim Dakil says, question for you guys: can Reece James play right centre back? I think he can, and extend that. Do you think he should get in?
No, I'm not playing me as Denmark.
Do you think he should get in a right centre back over Walker if Walker's so error prone?
I would put him over Walker. I think he's better at right back than Walker as well. I just prefer Reece James. I think going forward, and he's solid at the back. He's not as. I think he holds position better than Walker. Walker just goes walkabout sometimes. I just think he's error prone, so I would go probably in both positions. I'd put Reece James over him.
What about you guys, Jeremiah?
What, for Denmark game?
Yeah.
I'm going to put Trippier, if I'm being honest, because Trippier is probably one of the best players that Southgate trust. Huh?
Trippier's right centre back.
No, right centre back, right back.
Yeah, okay.
In fairness, Phil, he's played at left back. I'd back him at centre back too.
Yeah. Wait, I don't like
Not sure for him as centre.
I was talking kind of in general. So
I don't like from the back door. So I'll do for the back. For the back, but Trippier there. But if it's like a centre back, I might put Conor Cody because he's good at for the back. Conor Cody, because he's played it against Wolves.
Is he even been called up for this?
He has, but he hasn't played any games. But I know about Walker. I don't trust Walker that much.
I want the pacing behind though, especially with Damsgaard for them as well.
Walker, then.
Yeah, I'd say Walker for me. Like, even though the penalty stat kind of freaks me out, I don't know. I like, at least Walker's been in a semi-final before, which as you guys know, I'm the last person to rely on, mentality, but I think it does play a part in these tournament games. Velv, are you kind of the same?
Keep bringing me Reece James. Walker's going to give me a heart attack, man. He's going to give me a heart attack.
I'm with Bundles, which is something I didn't think I'd say. Walker's pace is essential, so I think play him there, definitely. But yeah, we'll talk about England-Denmark then. So the final predictions. Well, Conor Cody has been on soap adverts more than the pitch. Smooth. Very smooth. But yeah, for me, I don't know. I'm very worried for England-Denmark. What do you think the final will be then? To kind of round this off, what do you think the final will be?
Italy-England.
Italy-England.
Yeah, somebody told me Italy-England. That's going to be the biggest game of the tournament.
Are we all writing off Spain?
I know. I said it will be close. I think it'll go all the way to penalties, and Italy. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for Italy. Like some people are saying, they're just going to blow Spain out of the water. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be very close. Both games will be.
I'll say 1-0 Italy. I think it's going to be a Mobile penalty. He's probably going to shoot himself down the floor again.
My favorite part of the weekend, I don't know if you guys saw, is it was in the Denmark Czech Republic game, and the commentator, obviously the day after the Italy game, the commentator interrupted and said, "Look, just by the way, if anyone's wondering, you saw the horrific scenes last night. We've checked in with Immobile, and he is in a stable condition. He is okay after his injury." So very good commentary from my.
That annoyed me when Immobile was on the floor. And as soon as they scored, he just got.
You got to respect it.
That's embarrassing, isn't it? It's just embarrassing.
You got to respect the shithousery. Yeah, it takes a special kind of person to tool out. Especially he didn't even just get up and limp. He got straight up, legged it straight over. You got. I kind of wish he got a yellow card or anything But I'm thinking Spain maybe. I think they could get to the final, but I'm beginning to feel like England. If England beat Denmark, I back them to win it.
And if it's England versus Spain, in the final, England win it.
But if it's Italy v England,
that's a tough one.
It's coming down, lads.
No, Velfie, quiet. We don't take half answers here. Who wins, Italy or England, Jeremiah?
I think it's going to go to extra time, man. In my personal opinion. But I don't know, man. You know what? I don't care. England, man.
There we go.
I think it's going to shoot out. Don't think we must class again, man.
Fair enough. Well, Alan, what do you think?
I'm one of these that I refuse, because of obviously all the years of hurt, I refuse to say England are going to win a tournament. I think if we get to the final, we'll play better against Spain. I think Italy would be the harder position. Italy are due a bad game. They haven't lost in 32, 33 games now in international football. They haven't had a really bad game this tournament, whereas other teams have. I think they're due a bad game, and that would be the way if they were to for Italy to go out, I think that's the only way we'd win the final. I think Italy may be just a bit too classy for us. I hate to say it, and I'm going to probably get slated in the chats now for it. But
I think you get more respect now for saying England will lose than England will win. It's just innate.
It'll be our first final that we ever played. When was the last time England ever played the final?
Yeah.
50, 60 years ago. No matter. Plus, people would actually need. Imagine if England win that final year. People would give Southgate their biggest apology, especially on Twitter.
I think Southgate's the biggest apology anyway.
Yeah.
He deserves a bigger apology.
Yeah, I've changed my mind on him.
Yeah,
So Southgate.
I think the special thing that Southgate's done, right, is that before, like you got to think the last tournament he came in that took over, 2016, England lost to Iceland. Tournament before, England out in the group stage of the World Cup. 2012 for group stage or round of 16. 2010, don't think much further. 2008 didn't qualify. It's been a history of failure, and every tournament it's England will flop. So it's pretty crazy how he's transformed the mentality. Even I think the Germany win was key to that. So I'm still not sure you give him. I still don't say he's the best manager for it.
Yeah,
but he even if he leaves, he has to be the person who's picking the next manager. He has to be the guy doing these press conferences.
Yeah. And plus, Southgate has won more knockout stages than any other England manager that we have had.
Yeah. And he's got to the semi. I saw something as well. He's got to 50% of the semi-finals England have ever got to.
For me, the main thing that Southgate's done is he used to play and he used to know that players used to get a lot of stuff from the media and all loads of negative press and it used to have an effect. He's taken that all away. He's integrated it where it takes a load of pressure off of the players. They can just go out and and it's taken a lot of that problem away. So I think that's the reason why he's had so much success with getting the players to play more freely than in other tournaments where it's always been negative press, players under a lot of stress and pressure. And I think that's what's made Southgate, it made it an easier job for him.
Yeah, and I think he's hit the right level of boring. Scotland, Scotland was too boring, but Germany and Ukraine was just right. When everyone was cheering in the final stages of England v Ukraine, where England were literally passing it sideways for fun, that was.
Gordon was the funnest one. Gordon was worse.
Yeah.
Absolutely, but I'm trying to see if got any other topic.
Maguire should have flag kicked Yarmolenko in that game. Yarmolenko is a prick, man. How dare he disrespect Slabhead?
Oh my God. Or is there any other topics you guys want to talk about?
Renato Sanchez to Liverpool.
I think is a bad move.
Whoa, Alex.
I don't see that happening, bro. I don't see that happening.
Not to say Renato Sanchez is a bad player, because you know of me. He's a very, 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 very good player, but he's injury prone, and I think if you're buying Renato Sanchez in, you're buying him to play half your Premier League minutes.
Not injury prone player.
Yeah, no, at Lille, the manager had to bench him because when he was on the pitch, whenever his words were maybe slightly mistranslated, but not mistranslated, but broken English. But the essence of it was when he's on the pitch. When he puts the work in, he strains his body too hard, and that causes an injury. And I have to bench him after a big game. He missed quite a lot of games for Lille. So
Liverpool is stopped by injury for playing man, but Connor was it that centre back wasn't
Canate, yeah.
He's an injury for player. He's worse.
No, his injury one's a myth.
I guess Hospital FC or something. The man used to have Joe Kuhlman. He can't even stay fit. He injured every season.
That's why I wanted us to sign Kabak.
Sorry, Velv, did you say that Kanate's injury thing is a myth?
Because it's something about how his rehab at Leipzig wasn't even that good. Because he got the same injury, the muscle was here.
He's well, in from October 3rd, 2019 till October 5th, 2020, in a year, he tore his muscle fiber 3 times on 3 separate occasions.
Oh
wow!
In that time, he missed 36 games.
Listen, Liverpool are so
no, but it's the rehab.
2019 season, man only made 11 appearances, and the last season, 2021, his last season, man only made 14 league appearances.
Yeah, but he was on the bench for the majority of them. He was injured. He was on the bench.
No, he does say he missed 59 days of injury last season.
God, no.
No, sorry, no. So it's probably more like 70 or 80 days because his season of 1920 overlap.
Yeah, but that counts as with international breaks as well.
And
Yeah, but people said about Thiago, like Thiago's going to get injured. He's only got like one injury, and that was an impact injury. That's not him getting injured by himself. And then he came out and started. He played like the whole of 2021.
Okay, but hello, lads. What have you come here to say?
I've just come in to joining your debate. I'll let you man carry on for a minute. I just got to do something.
Okay. Well, we'll have a transfers, right? Here's something to interject in the final few minutes of the stream, right? So I was reading Marca yesterday, which is a Spanish newspaper, and they wrote a report on how, and this might be one for Alan as a Tottenham fan. They wrote a report on how apparently they're struggling to deal with Coutinho because no one wants him. In their own words,
I want him.
No club has made a bid or loan offer for Coutinho. So I'm wondering, is there anyone here, if there any fan, and there's a Tottenham fan, would you take Coutinho for either 20 million or on loan?
Yes.
As a Spurs fan, I would. Yeah, I would take him. Because with Spurs at the moment, we've got no creativity. Harry Kane's had to do a double. Since we got rid of Eriksen, no one's come in to fill that void. So Harry Kane's had to be that person to create as well as score. So we need a creative midfielder in there. We don't play the system like Liverpool that don't really need a central attacking midfielder because they play down the wings. That's why you got Sane and Firmino.
Mane.
Mane and Firmino, Salah. So for me, we need that type of player in there. Coutinho, until we find somebody who's younger who could Coutinho, I'd take he'd be the one that would go in there
even on a loan. Especially with Nuno in, it's going to be a transitional season. You probably want him in. Well, anyone else got any other clubs?
Me.
Well,
bring Coutinho back to Liverpool, man.
Oh, that'd be a waste, though.
Yeah,
I would 100% take him back, man. We haven't had a Coutinho replacement, man.
But where would he fit in?
Go on, Jeremiah.
You know, I wouldn't mind Coutinho as a backup to Bruno.
He's better than Bruno.
He can play anywhere.
What?
Can play anywhere.
Better than Bruno?
Yeah,
Bruno's backup.
Oh, that's whack.
Oh my God, Bell, man.
Hold on.
Bell thinks Bruno's better than he thinks Coutinho's better than Bruno, bro.
I didn't say that. I said Bruno's backup.
No, Bell said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
hold on. Just make it clear because I think before you ignite that debate, which I think will be fun, just a quick point to interject here because Vel says he wants Coutinho back at Liverpool. And Gerard says it was him with Bruno back up. I think these are two very good suggestions for everyone apart from Coutinho. Because if you go to him and say, yeah, we'll take you in. If Bruno gets injured, we'll play you. Or at Liverpool, if Mane, Salah, you can be our Shaqiri. I don't think Coutinho's too happy with that. But continue with the useless debate that Coutinho is better than Bruno, which he isn't, Velv. Go on.
As an overall player, Coutinho's better.
What? And guys, before we shower him, sometimes voice is the best way of argument. Velv, present to us your logical argument with facts and research on why Coutinho is better than Bruno Fernandes.
When Coutinho was at Liverpool, Coutinho passed the eye test. He's a much better footballer than Bruno.
Yeah,
better passer, better dribbler.
Past whose eye test? Because I've passed an eye test before and I'm still wearing glasses.
No, like for people's he's a better passer than Bruno. He's a better chance creator than Bruno.
What are you basing this off? Because I can get the stats up if you like.
I'm basing Coutinho on Liverpool days.
I'll get his Liverpool days up, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Hold on. Better passer.
Okay,
better
so
dribbler.
Yeah.
Better dribbler.
Let's hold on. Let's all right. Cool. Well, how about we do this? How about we let Velv talk? Right, Velv, talk about what we see from him on the eye, and then we'll check the stats.
Yeah.
So what's he better than that Bruno?
But he's a better dribbler. He's a better passer. He's a better finisher because he shoots outside the box.
Can someone just quickly tally these up, please? So, sorry, Gerard, do you want to speak that?
I'm going to go.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Passer, dribbler, shooter.
Right. So, Alan and Ads keep this up. Better passer, better dribbler, and was it better shooter? He said.
Yeah.
All right, continue waffling, Belgium. Just getting out now.
Waffling? No, it's facts, man.
Wait, let me. So you originally said that he was better. But your initial statement was that he was better than Fernandes. You never said back in the Liverpool days. The way you said it was that he was better now. Back in Liverpool days, you might have a bit of back in Liverpool days, you may have a little bit of an argument because when he was Liverpool at the height, he was sensational. To be fair, but I still think Bruno now still beats him because Bruno Fernandes has pretty much changed United.
Yeah.
I'm saying Bruno Fernandes now against Coutinho for Liverpool. I think Bruno Fernandes now is still better than Coutinho back for Liverpool because Bruno Fernandes has completely changed.
You want me to be unbiased? You want me to be unbiased? I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say he shits on Coutinho at Liverpool. I'd say personally, in my opinion, I think he edges it because Bruno's only 2 seasons. However, if Bruno carrying on his form for the next 2 seasons, then Coutinho shouldn't even be in the conversation for me.
Sorry.
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 No, it's bad.
Okay, right. Well, Coutinho in this is the 16-17 season. So he's second to last one because he left halfway through 17-18. And but I don't want to do you a disservice and pick in half stats, So Philippe Coutinho played 31 games. Bruno played 35. So Coutinho in that season, he created 7 big chances for his teammates. Bruno Fernandes, in fairness to Velv, who created 5. I'm joking, he created 20.
Look who we playing with our strikers, man. Our strikers were whack back then.
But it doesn't matter who your strikers are, he's creating big chances. It's nothing to do with the assists. But if you want to measure it on assists, Coutinho got 7 assists, Bruno got 12. Dribbling, let's have a look. Coutinho completed 60%, Bruno 51%. So you're right on that one. But better pass. I mean, it's hard to measure better passing since I've already kind of done the thing. But Coutinho 2.1 key passes, Bruno 2.6 goals. Coutinho scored 13, Bruno 18.
Yeah, because Bruno takes pens, man.
Come on, man. Listen, I'm sorry, but this is like comparing I'm trying to think of a bad comparison. This is like comparing Declan Rice to any of the current Man United midfielders minus McTominay. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
Well, just I don't quite get that comparison, but just to back up ads anyway. Just back up ads anyway. And Velv, you're saying about the penalties thing. Coutinho has a 12% goal conversion. Bruno 15%. Did score 9 goals from pens, but it's probably still about even.
Look at Coutinho's goals, all outside the box, man. He has the whip.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but have you ever seen a free kick video from the sideman? Like you get one highlight that's great, Velv, and then you get like 50 odd shots that miss.
No, Coutinho does it all the time. He shoots outside the box all the time.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that although he shoots outside, you'll get 1 or 2 that will go in. But for every 1 or 2 that go in, you got like 9 or 10 that go high, wide, and handsome, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, but he does it all the time. Like if you count up,
that's what we're saying, Ralph.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter whether a goal is scored from outside. I want somebody who can score from outside the box, inside the box, left foot, right foot, head. Just because it's outside the box. Yeah, but so has Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah,
he hasn't done it enough.
Yeah, but
he's done it enough to have better stats than Coutinho.
Yeah, well, if we're going to try and track a story of Coutinho and Bruno, it seems Coutinho gets the ball from outside the box and he shoots. Bruno gets the ball from outside of the box, looks into the box, makes a pass, creates a big chance, and that tends to.
Alex, let's be real. Look at our striking options back then, man.
No, but it's about the chances created.
Exactly. So a chance created means you set it up for somebody, and if they don't take it, there's still a chance created. He weren't creating enough chances. It means he weren't dictating play. He wasn't getting himself into positions to create them chances. That's what a chance created is.
Yeah, okay.
If you're going for assists, then you could say that he's put it on a plate for his strikers and they haven't done the job. But for him to create chances, he hasn't had the ball enough to be able to create them chances for his strikers. So it's more on him that chances created.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But I feel
like so Alan just destroyed Vel.
No. I'm saying that as an overall player, compare those two. I believe Coutinho's a better overall player than Bruno.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let the comments decide on that one, and I think that's a good place to end it. I haven't been on the stream for ages.
It's just Mustafa in the comments.
Alan, is there any place they can the people can find you?
Just on Twitter, where my name is Alan R. Clark 3. I occasionally join the terrorists and give my insight into Tottenham and how woeful we currently are, but that's about it, really.
Okay, lovely jubbly. Vel, just a reminder for the people, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at Vel_skills.
Lovely jubbly. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
VIP, still key. Like bando, bitch, oh please, yeah. Brand new whip, no keys, yeah. Get down on knees, yeah, yeah.